Welcome to the Post Credits Podcast, where we talk about movies after the credits roll. My name is Jesse.
I'm Logan.
And I'm Max.
And today on the weekly spoiler review, we are in the middle of the jungle and we are being hunted. Now we die. Because we no longer have a snake for our snake movie, this is Anaconda.
Yes,
2025.
The requel, meta reboot sequel, whatever you want to call it.
Reboot sequel.
The meta reboot sequel.
Yeah, of the 1997, I believe, film Anaconda, starring Jennifer Lopez and Ice Cube.
Yeah.
And John Voight and Owen Wilson and Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that is true.
Well, Danny Trejo for 3 seconds.
For about 3 seconds.
Shoots himself.
We have seen both movies, and we will be talking a little bit about both and how they each compare. That being said, let's ask the question we always ask. How did you hear about this movie?
I'm hoping it's the same story for all of us, because I think we can all agree this particular trailer for us is one that we've seen for most, if not all of probably most of the movies that we've seen for this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the semester I feel like the trailer for Anaconda is just played so like in front of every single movie that we've seen.
If you go
memorized it.
If you go as far back as I think the Running Man podcast was when we actually referenced it on the show, because we didn't know if we were doing a spoiler review on this because it came out.
Here it is.
Yeah, it came out around the same time as Marty Supreme, and we knew we were going to do one on Marty Supreme. Everybody wanted to see Marty Supreme. The thing was that with this movie, January 2nd of 2026, the first weekend of 2026, completely barren. Basically nothing came out unless we wanted to do The Plague, which none of us really wanted to do. So we ended up saying, whatever, let's see Anaconda, because, yeah, I think we all heard about this movie from the trailer playing in front of every single movie that we watched for the weekly spoiler review.
Yeah, I will say for me, that's actually not how I heard about it. But
oh my god!
I actually heard about this one way back when it was announced.
2020. That's when it was announced.
2020. Yeah, I heard there was rumblings that they were doing an Anaconda reboot, and then they officially announced that they were doing production when they got the director. I forgot the name of him off the top of my head. He's the guy who did The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
His name is Tom Gormican, I believe.
Tom Gormican, yeah, thank you. Yeah, he's the guy, he directed The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which is a really good film, really underrated comedy, starring Nicolas Cage as Nicolas Cage. And then they announced that Jack Black and Paul Rudd were going to be the ones that were starring in it. I actually was kind of a little bit excited for it, just because I feel like the meta humor in Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent worked really well. And then I saw the trailer again and again and again, and I was like, this movie does not look really good anymore. And then
I still want to see it, but
yeah, I feel like it was one that was like, if I was gonna see it, I was gonna see it with you guys, because this is a movie that I don't tend to watch on my own, because I don't feel like it would be. I don't think it's with charm, humor would work as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. And honestly, the production of this movie seems so troubled. So it stars Jack Black and Paul Rudd. This is the second movie for both actors. Paul Rudd was initially cast in the role that Jack Black ended up playing in the final product, but then Jack Black was cast in that same role, so they moved Paul Rudd to the other role, and then they concluded filming in February 2025, and then they did reshoots, which lasted until November 17th. Which was 1.5 months before the movie was supposed to come out.
Yeah, because they did that because test screenings were really poor.
Yeah, test screenings were very. It tested horribly. Nobody really liked the movie.
And seeing once we get into our thoughts later on the movie itself, all I have to say is, what the hell was the cut that they showed like beforehand? Like, what could possibly have gone wrong with the first cut compared to the one we just saw?
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, I feel like this is the second movie this year where it might be fun because it's bad, but just watching it alone is really, really sad. And that other movie that I'm talking about also happens to star Jack Black, because this reminds me a lot of a Minecraft movie.
Right.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah.
So
definitely not Wicked for Good. That's a whole other
Yeah.
of worms.
If you want to talk about Wicked for Good, we have a podcast on Wicked for Good, which
Regrettably.
statistics show if you're watching this one, you probably have also seen that one. So welcome back. So yeah, just this movie didn't look good when I heard about it with the trailer. Reading about the production, it didn't sound good. When we started watching the trailer for this movie, it hadn't finished filming. Like, it wasn't finished.
They're still working.
They were still doing reshoots by the time that the trailer had come out, which isn't
Yeah.
totally unheard of.
Yeah, it's not. It's fairly common, especially in Hollywood, which we'll get into it later on. But the movie kind of pokes fun at that, which I thought was kind of strange. But it's one that's just like so much of the trailers, like so much stuff that was in that first trailer, never actually made it into the movie.
Yeah, there were a lot of, I guess, the outtakes that they used in the trailer that they didn't use, or voice lines, or
Right. Well, and that's the danger with editing the trailer in that way, is that, you know, you're not finished with the movie. How are you supposed to sell the movie? And the way that they typically do that is just by showing as much as they can, and then they put the trailer out there. And I think the trailer showed way too much. The trailer is basically the entire movie. So
Yeah, because like they didn't show any early footage. Like they put that trailer, but it was only a few months before the movie came out, and then the second trailer was like literally weeks, like quite literally weeks before the movie came
I don't
out.
even think it was weeks. I didn't see the second trailer until I watched Avatar: Fire and Ash in theaters on December 25th, the release date for this movie. I know that they were running TV spots before then, but I didn't see the theatrical spot that actually was the real trailer until the day it came out.
Huh.
So I don't know. Maybe that's just too anecdotal to be used against the movie. But yeah, the marketing was very singly focused on this one trailer, and that trailer happens to be really funnily insincere
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. So the intro that we did for this episode, that's all from the trailer. And we even poked fun at it in the Running Man episode from the trailer as well. So yeah, should we jump into this plot, or do we have anything more to say?
let's jump into it.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do the plot. All right. So we open on this character. His name is Doug. He's played by Jack Black. We don't know this initially, but he directs wedding videos. He calls them films. And basically he pitches this wedding video to a couple that involves a snake attacking this suburban neighborhood, and they don't like that. They just want to do classic wedding video, and fair enough. And, you know, we see him working. His boss says that working at the wedding video company is like a B plus life. Hilarious. And then we're introduced to Griff, whose actual name is supposedly Ronald, but everybody calls him Griff. And he is like a Z-list actor, extra in procedural television shows, and he can't even do that right. So he gets signed on to do this medical television show where he's Doctor Number 3, and for some reason, he gets his own trailer, and he completely screws up the scene like 5 different times.
Yeah, my man, for some reason, my man just cannot catch a break for the life of him, I feel like.
And then it's Doug's birthday, and he has a kid, and everybody, like, we basically get a round table of all the characters that we're going to be seeing through the movie. We've got, by the way, Doug is played by Jack Black, Griff is played by Paul Rudd, and then we've got Kenny, played by Steve Zahn, and Claire, who is played by, give me one second, Thunadiwe Newton. It's Claire. All of them are kind of miserable. So Doug doesn't want to work at the wedding videos. He wants to make real movies. Griff is fine acting, but he doesn't seem very good at it. He kind of goes over and beyond for no reason. Kenny, we don't really know. I mean, he's like an alcoholic, but now he's not anymore. He's buffalo sober, and that means beer, wine, and light liquor. Okay. And then Claire's going through a divorce, and we basically know nothing. It's the most serious thing that any character is facing in this movie, aside from the giant snake, and we don't know anything about her.
Yeah, that's all the character development that they do, basically.
Yeah. We actually get a shot of Griff outside, like, the production company that was working on the procedural,
Yeah,
And
there's a lot of the posters he walks back. Like he walks past Close Encounters of the Third Kind, just completely out of nowhere, and then he stops and points at the poster for the original 1997 cult classic Anaconda.
Right. This Close Encounters of the Third Kind, all that jazz, and Anaconda. The 3 most legendary movies of all time, probably.
So this is a movie. So the meta aspect of it we can already see, right? With Jack Black and Paul. I'm not gonna remember their actual character names, so I'm just gonna call them by their actors. They're like indie filmmaker wannabe guys who want to recreate a movie that exists in their universe as a movie on its own.
Yeah, and it's like there's a scene where the Jack Black character's birthday party, they find an old Paul Rudd's character finds an old movie that they did. The amount of censoring for the amount of F-bombs that are dropped in that, this movie gets away with there's so many times in this movie where someone almost says the F word and then it just completely like they don't say it, or there's a scene like this where like I swear to God 8 to 9 times
They really wanted that PG-13 rating.
They really did. And I mean, the amount of times they use the word shit is like at some point they're just substituting it in for other words.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, and they find, so as Max was saying, there's a bit where they find their old film called the Quatch.
The Quatch, that's what it was called.
The Quatch. And they said that they need to censor it to so that they could show it at the school like assembly or something.
The school assembly.
Yeah.
If I was in a school assembly and I saw that, I don't know if I would find it funny or just find it like what kind of assembly would you be sitting in to see
If I
that?
was a teacher at a school assembly and I even heard like censored words, like even references to cuss words, I wouldn't let them get away with that. So
yeah, me neither. That's like a lawsuit in the making.
Cool teachers.
Yeah, it's like a lawsuit in the making.
Is this the part with the editing software Doug uses? Or?
Oh my God! Yeah, I saw you like pointing over at that part. I was just like, is that how that can't be how?
Which part was that specifically?
I mean, we passed it, but it's here. It's here. Do your bit.
Okay. So in Doug's magic editing fantasy software, you have what's similar to Premiere Pro and all stuff like that.
Non-linear editing software.
You have a timeline with 2 channels that we can see. We have the bar going across the timeline. In both channels, in the second channel specifically, there is a couple little blocks that the marker moves over because he's playing the video. Mm-hmm. There is nothing on the preview screen that suggests that those 2 blocks in the second channel actually did anything.
Right.
And that infuriated me at the moment, because you're supposedly editing this movie and you're editing in this particular snapshot of this magic editing software. So you would be the first to recognize that that channel did nothing.
Right. You're editing this in DaVinci or you're editing this in Premiere, and you're making your own non-linear editor, and it's not like it's not accurate, because if you have a video in a different track, it's a different video. Like, you wouldn't just put the same video in 2 different tracks.
Or some like asset that would be put on, even text.
At least it's an asset, a picture, some text.
The video just doesn't change.
It doesn't change
There's
at all.
no asset.
Yeah. So it's just
invisible.
Looks more visually interesting, but you know, if you're into video editing, it looks like crap.
Yeah,
maybe the second channel was muted or hidden, but there was no indication of that as far as I saw. So
yeah, it's almost as crazy as a waterfall going in reverse.
Yeah, so at the end of the 1997 Anaconda, we see a boat going across a river, and the waterfall is going up.
Yeah, it's literally like when you guys were gone earlier, I rewatched it. It's literally the exact same shot earlier when they get there. They literally just rewind the footage so that it goes, and they didn't.
Oh my God.
How do you not even see that a waterfall goes in reverse? Like, it's not in this movie; it's in the original Anaconda, but it's like
This is the
How do
curse
you-
of Anaconda.
Like, how do you miss? How do you have 2 Anaconda films where you just like utterly fail
Where the
with
editing
editing?
doesn't make sense. Yeah. No.
It's-
That's
like
not
it-
even the worst bit. This, by far, not even the worst bit about the new Anaconda movie that I have gripes with, as
Yeah.
far as what's on the screen goes. Because when we get to like the actual snake, we have I'm sure we have a few thoughts about.
Yeah, and just so that everybody is aware, we've only seen the 1997 Anaconda and the 2025 Anaconda. There's like 4 Anacondas in between
I don't know.
that we haven't seen.
I don't know a single person who has. If you have, if you want
Leave
to
a
post a rank,
comment.
if you want to post a ranking for them, I don't know about you guys, but I'd
I
actually
don't
be
know
very
why you
curious
want
see.
to, but
Yeah,
Hey, you know what? If you are that person, leave a comment.
yeah,
We'd love to discuss that.
yeah. Go for it.
So, Griff says that the original Anaconda was actually based on an old Japanese novel by an author who is now dead, and he says that he went to his widow and procured the rights to Anaconda.
is that true?
No,
Okay.
it is not true. As far as I can tell, the original Anaconda was written as an original screenplay by Jack Epps Jr., Hans Bauer, and Jim Cash. Not based on a book.
Yeah, I would have assumed so. I would have been shocked if that original movie was based on a book.
I mean, more generic things have been based on books, honestly.
Yeah,
But regardless, he convinces everybody to go to the rainforest in Brazil, the Amazon, to film a reboot of Anaconda. Like a remake,
Indie style, I might add.
Indie-
Run and
indie
gun.
style.
indie
Run
style.
and gun.
Yep.
And then, yeah, there's a montage of Doug writing the movie and them financing the movie. It's supposed to cost $2 million, but then they only get $9,000 from the bank. And
As
so,
was shown in the trailer.
as was shown in the trailer, so
Yeah,
they
that part's
end up-
accurate. To
They
the movie.
reduced the budget down to $43,000. A lot of their own money is in there.
What could possibly cost 43,000 other than like plane tickets and
Well, actually,
snake rental?
yeah.
actually, they do mention where the budget is going, because according to Doug, they need the SFX and the VFX.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, the SFX, which by the way come free in the editing software that Doug already has, and the VFX, which also come free in the editing software that Doug already has. So they need the money for that.
Sure. Like just
Yeah.
use Pixabay or just go
Yeah.
to CG Trader and go
Yeah,
to
I'm-
After Effects or bootleg After Effects
And
with one
especially-
channel.
Especially, they're doing the snake practically in this in-universe movie because
Exactly.
they have a snake handler and a real snake.
A real snake for the snake movie.
Well, it's a CG snake
It's a
in
CG
the movie,
snake
but
that's real in-universe.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what do you need VFX for? And like we see clips of the movie they end up making at the end. It's not anything.
It's nothing special.
And
it
it's
really
all
isn't.
practical because they end up crashing a different set. We'll get into
color
that.
grading. Or
Color
something?
grading.
Color grading.
Color grading.
Right.
The color grading budget is out of control. So we meet they go to the rainforest and then we meet the snake handler. He is played by Selton Mello. His name is Santiago. And he has a snake. It's an anaconda named Hator. And yeah, they go on the boat, but then there's this other plot that I realized we completely forgot to mention with a character played by Daniela Melchior, who is a runaway because there are these people that we're told are running an illegal gold mining operation that are hunting her. And so she gets on the boat and she starts piloting the boat. She's the captain.
I just called her Tomb Raider, so
Tomb Raider,
I will
yeah.
call her Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I just called
this
her.
podcast.
I just called her by the actress's name because I've seen her. I think this is my 3rd time seeing her now.
Really?
Yeah.
She was in Suicide Squad
Yeah.
and Roadhouse, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were the
there
2
you
I
go.
saw her in before this.
Yeah. And she was also she played a minor role in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh yeah. Never mind. This is my 4th time seeing her.
4th time seeing. Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a plot that's just so loose and disappears for large swaths of the movie. You completely forgot about it. But yeah, it's a thing, And she does have a Lara Croft energy about her.
Yeah, in a sense.
like the same blue shirt and kind of the same look. That's
Yeah, Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and so
Which I will say, speaking of costumes, sorry, I didn't know if you were going to say anything, but
No,
speaking
go
of
ahead.
costumes, did you guys notice the costumes that Paul Rudd and the other girl were wearing? I thought they were really interesting.
I didn't make special
For
note of
which
them.
part?
All I recognized about the costumes was that Jack Black is just constantly wearing solid color T-shirts.
Yeah, no, not his. I mean, like the costumes, like for the movie that they're filming. There's something, there's something really interesting about their
What's
outfits.
the really interesting thing?
They're dressed like Alan Gray and Ellie Sattler from Jurassic Park.
Oh, is that what they're playing on?
It looks the exact same. Like literally, you have Paul Rudd wearing the blue shirt. He's got like the red bandana, and he has literally the hat.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the other girl. I don't remember her name whatsoever. She has like the pink shirt and like the khaki pants. I'm just like, it's literally like it's Jurassic Park with a snake. I don't know what.
costume department sure had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Their inside jokes.
I'm just like, hey, like this is it's Jurassic Park, but it's not. Wink, wink. I'm like,
And Lara Croft there too.
isn't that a Universal property? How does Sony have access to that?
Well, I mean, Sony doesn't have access to it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm sure there's someone here who knows more about Jurassic Park, and maybe that was intentional. I mean, probably, right? If they look that similar.
Yeah, like that's for me. Like I love Jurassic Park. Maybe that's just where I picked up on that. But I just saw that.
One.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, there are other movies with those characters in them, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, but like the outfits from the
Right.
original Jurassic Park, it was
Yeah.
just like it looks just like it, and I'm just like, wow,
Yeah.
how lazy.
even the costumes are a ripoff.
Yeah,
But
I'm like you're trying to be meta, and it's just like that's so.
What are you being meta towards at that point?
It's just like, are you being meta at other franchises now instead of?
It's just
I
called a
thought-
reference.
It's like were you rebooting Anaconda? Were you rebooting everything else? Like
Yeah.
what?
why not?
Yeah.
I mean, we say this, but this is a year in which they just rebooted Jurassic Park for the third time, or for the second time, because the first one wasn't a reboot; it was just original.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, they didn't really reboot the franchise at all. It's just like there was a.
I feel like they kind of did. It's called Rebirth, and it's supposed to be separate from the other movies.
Oh, it said 5 years after Dominion, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's none of the same characters, none of the same dinosaurs, none of the same locations.
But
Yeah, no.
canon,
Yeah, it's
so
just
yeah.
continuation.
It's a reboot. It's a refresh. It's a rebirth. We're getting off in the weeds. Anaconda. So they're filming mostly character stuff initially, and then they bring out the snake, and immediately Doug kills it by throwing it into the propeller of the boat. So
Yeah, as any normal sane human would do if they see a snake approaching their face. At least I would. I would. I
Check
would.
in the
I
nearest
wouldn't have
moving
pushed it.
boat
I would have
propeller.
yeeted. I would have like done lasso and thrown it into the water. Like you will not be putting that snake up to my face.
Well, you turn it into sushi. Like
It turned into sushi. And then the snake fetish dude gets all upset, and then they
He's
start.
just a snake handler.
Yeah,
He's
snake
like
fetish.
a pet. It's not.
He's like has fetishes for snakes. I'm like,
I don't
dude,
think
you're
he has
weird.
a fetish for snakes.
He was being weird. I don't know.
He was
like
being weird
snakes a
after
lot.
the snake died, but like
Yeah.
he just kind of talks about the snake like it's his pet.
Yeah, and then Doug comes in. He's like, oh, he dies. He's like, was it a snake? I'm like, dude.
Yeah, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
But
And he
yeah.
steps in the forest and he's like, oh, like you have to be one with the snake. You have to feel the snake. I'm like, dude, come on, man.
Well, he actually said so. So they decide to go out into the jungle and find a new snake, and
for their snake movie.
right
Yeah.
for the snake movie. And Santiago says, what might be a late contender for worst written line of dialogue in 2025. He says, "You should be careful. The snakes can hear vibrations." Which is true of everything that can hear.
Because sound is
Vibrations. Welcome to
Yeah.
we are making vibrations that you're listening to right now. But I guess snakes.
in that
can,
regard, you are similar to a snake.
and you know what? Maybe you're also slithery. Who am I to judge? So yeah, we just. It's ridiculous. He says
You
it
were
co-
on that. You were on that point for the whole day. until-
literally. Since we've seen it, I've been completely engrossed into that line of dialogue because it's beyond dumb. It's dumb, it's stupid, and I don't like it. So, Santiago dies. He gets attacked by a big, giant snake.
Oh no.
And
Oh no.
well, I mean, you know what? I say he dies. We don't see his body.
Uh-oh.
And that's a pretty common screenwriting technique.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's attacked by a giant anaconda, and then they get back on the boat, and then Anna, is it Anna or Anna?
I think it's Anna. Well,
Anna.
obviously, like they pronounce her name as Anna, and they make a joke later on with
Oh,
her,
yeah.
and it's like Anaconda. And
But
I was just like, you're naming a character just to make a stupid joke later on.
It's the Daniela Melchior character, and so she's going after illegal gold miners. Doug writes her into the script because like there's no snake, but then he
What
adds
is an illegal
her
gold
in.
miner? I asked you this yesterday. I'm still.
Yeah. How is
No-
how is that stuff illegal?
Can't they just make it like
Yeah. Can't they?
Narcos or something?
Yeah.
Something
Like
simple.
what makes it so illegal?
Well, it operates on Minecraft rules.
Like,
To
do you
get the
not do you,
gold,
do
you
you not have a
to wait for
government
it.
permit for that, or?
I
guess
mean,
not.
look, this is the middle of Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil
but-
known for its gold.
Yeah.
I mean, I
I mean, I
guess
think it's more
it is.
like yeah,
it's more silver, I think. I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, but also known for their government permits. It's just it's so thrown in there, and it's just one of those things. A movie earlier this year called Now You See Me, Now You Don't did the exact same thing, where it's like the most generic way to construct a villain is by saying illegal blank trader and then inserting something, right? Illegal gold trader,
Illegal
okay,
diamond
whatever.
trader.
Illegal diamond trader, illegal drug trader. These are the things that constantly get used, and yeah, they're very tired. So illegal gold, okay. I don't even bother questioning it at this point. Doug writes Anna into the movie, and he starts basically just filming her beating up on Kenny, pretty constantly.
Yeah.
And
Because that's where the whole thing comes in with Doug, because he's like, or so I'm just gonna call him Paul Rudd because I don't remember anybody's
Griff.
names. Yeah. That's where he comes in. It's just like, you're taking this role from me. And you're turning this into Anaconda now instead
Right.
of Anaconda.
also, around the time the boat docks and they go out into the forest, and before they do that, Kenny, Steve Zahn's character, walks out onto the boat, finds a random pill just kind of lying out there, and is like, you know what? I'm gonna take that.
I was I was flabbergasted. Who the
Straight up
hell
Pill
takes
in a
a
prescription bottle.
Like, I was like, is it prescription to him? I'm just like, what if it's for like his
No,
like heart
it
failure or
belongs
something?
to Santiago, and he just sees a pill and is like, I trust this.
mine.
Yes, I need it. And
Like what if he had like an infection or something? Like what do you think that pill's gonna do?
there's so
Totally,
many-
totally like
out of left field.
yeah,
And he's stone cold sober before doing this.
yeah. Like
He is
stone
fully
cold.
lucid, looks at a pill and goes, yeah, sure. And yeah, so then they go out into the jungle and they get into this van, and Anna starts shooting at the snake, and then
The
also
snake appears.
the snake appears, it drops Santiago's body onto the van, and then also the gold miners come and she starts shooting at them, and they get that all on film.
Epic chase scene.
Epic chase scene, and then they get
Shown in the trailer too.
Yeah, also looked like a knockoff of Jurassic Park.
yeah.
What was the oh my god part that remembered in the trailer? Was that in
That
the
was-
final cut?
Well, no, because it's the opening to Baby Got Back.
Well, like any rendition of that they used.
Nah, not really. I mean, they
The
do,
way they shot
do have
that-
Baby Got Back later in the trailer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I was noticing that too. I was like, at this point, we're like,
Like
They
did
are
Jack
so
Black
much-
say oh, and did that even make it in, or is that just an outtake?
It's still I mean, they didn't actually even say it in the trailer because it's the opening to a song.
No, but they did mouth the words.
They did mouth
said
the
it.
words.
yeah, they did.
mouth
Yeah,
the words.
they
That's
did
fair.
not. Yeah.
Although there is actually a point in the trailer in which there's a line in which Doug says "for a lie," and in the trailer they edited a later line from the movie where he says "now we die" over that line where he says "for a lie" because it kind of looks the same. And you know what? I didn't.
Yeah, and also like
Yeah.
that part's something that's not alluded to in the
Yeah.
trailers.
That's
and-
true.
And going back to trying to sell a movie through a trailer that's not even through a movie that's not even done yet.
And another thing that's important about that trailer features the swapped roles of the characters of Jack Black and Paul Rudd.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Jack Black is playing the Paul Rudd character, and Paul Rudd's playing the Jack Black character in the trailer. It's edited around that original concept.
Yeah, even the opening of the trailer when Jack Black walks in and says, "Let's reboot Anaconda," that's not in the movie.
No, it's not in the movie at all.
It happens.
It is, but
it happens
so
different.
it changes his mind. He just happens to
Or
say that as if he's giving
as
out
if
the
he's-
idea
Yeah.
Right.
for
so
the
like,
first time.
it happens differently, and Paul Rudd's the one that goes to Jack Black with the idea to reboot Anaconda and do what they've
Right.
always loved to do as kids. But
In the
even
movie,
even
it was
the
Paul
snake
Rudd's idea.
even the Snake for Our Snake movie line was changed.
Yeah, we need to find a snake for our snake movie.
Yeah,
or
and in the
something.
trailers, we no longer have a Snake for Our Snake movie, which
We
obviously,
no longer, yeah.
I
obviously,
think,
like before, we know why, because Paul Rudd throwing it under a boat.
I think the reason we revolve around the Snake for a Snake movie line so much is probably something I pointed out in the trailer. I usually notice this with like repeated voice lines or sound effects. For some reason, Jack Black says snake, and they use the same snake line like 2 words apart from each other, and
Right. So
that always just irks me
It
whenever
says,
they do that.
We
sort
no
of thing.
longer have a snake for our snake movie. It's like, why like the I don't know.
Like, could you not have just said we no longer have a Snake for our Anaconda reboot?
Or just like,
or-
even you could just say snake for our snake movie, but like say it like a normal person. Don't edit in the like word by word.
Yeah, it's totally weird. But yeah, they go on this chase and
with the gold
yeah, with the
miners and
with the
their-
gold
and their
miners.
pickaxes and they're
Mhm.
mining the gold. I don't know how that works.
I don't know, and then like Danielle Melchior's character is fighting them off
Yeah,
somehow.
with a gun.
Yeah, how did how did they get that car to start?
Because it was like
Because he pops the hood.
he pops the hood and then he does some like,
That snake was
So
a
he just
trooper. That
put
snake
in,
was
like,
like,
a
you know
little
what? He's right
wire
there.
together.
The snake was like, you know what? He's right there. I'm not gonna strike just yet. When he's in the car, I'm gonna chase him. But when he's outside the car,
The
like
snake
he's
knows
fine.
plot armor when he sees it.
Yeah.
he just wasn't hungry. And the snake is such a plot device because they use the fact, like, I don't know if it's a real fact or if it's made up for the movie, but the idea that an anaconda will eat its prey and then regurgitate it, and they use that for shock value so many times. The anaconda
Yeah.
doesn't eat anything this entire movie because it keeps throwing up.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if that's something snakes actually do, or
I
at
don't know,
least
maybe.
if they do it, I don't think it's quite like. I don't think it's like this in this movie at all.
None of us are snake experts.
No.
Yeah, although there is one thing in the original Anaconda I did notice, not to get too off topic, but there's
Yeah.
a scene where
I could look
a
it
baby
up.
snake, goes
yeah.
on one of the guy's hands, and his hand is bleeding. But if you know anything about baby snakes, they don't have teeth. So how's that possible?
Right.
Like that was like, wait, what? Like how is his hand hurt?
AI says that anacondas
AI
do
says.
regurgitate their prey, so
Oh,
I'll
okay.
take
Right.
our word for it. But yeah,
Or the AI's word for it.
sure.
So it's not totally far off then.
Maybe not.
Yeah, yeah.
The AI could be pulling from Anaconda for that source. We don't know.
You know, yeah, maybe.
So they're back on the boat, and they see another boat come by with a more legit film set, or not a more legit film set, but a more expensive film set. It's like a party boat, multi layers, and Jack Black calls to them like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, Sony is rebooting Anaconda. No new ideas, am I right?"
So meta.
Presented
am I
to you
right,
by
guys?
Sony Pictures Entertainment.
Yeah.
We're the cool guys. We're self-inserting ourselves and self-referential. We know it's not a new idea, but look at us. We realize it. We're the cool company.
You're the shitheads that paid for a ticket, am I right?
Yeah.
Oh my god. So then Dog's mad at Griff because Griff lied to him about buying the rights to Anaconda.
Yeah,
And
which if you were paying attention, the fact that he said that Anaconda was based off a Japanese book, how did you not piece that together?
Anaconda, the movie about some random guys on a boat getting eaten by a snake. No deeper meaning. No
Oh god,
theme, no
the deeper
anything.
meaning.
No.
And
Speaking-
it's a Japanese novel.
It's a was it
base it off of.
intergenerational trauma? Is that the line that they use
so
in the
they
movie?
say
They
that
make
the,
that up.
The
Yeah,
new
they make that.
Anaconda is going to be about intergenerational trauma. Kenny says the old Anaconda was a metaphor for real snakes.
I mean, watching the movie today as of time of recording is not technically wrong, but
It's not thoughtless an analysis of the original movie as we're presenting it to be, but it is far-fetched for what the movie is, I'll be honest. I didn't see it when I watched the movie.
yeah.
So Griff then goes to find the other set, but the other set's completely trashed. The Anaconda got them. And then, as it turns out, Anna is an illegal gold miner, and then the people that have been chasing her are the police. But then Griff comes back and shoots the police officer instead of Anna.
What an idiot.
It's like that the movie could have ended, but no, we've still got more to do. Anna kills the police officer, and then she holds the crew at gunpoint, and then the Anaconda kills her.
Yeah.
The Anaconda gets This is not like new in so there was a quote unquote twist villain in the original Anaconda as well. John Voight's character turns out to be evil.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, him with his crazy accent.
But then he also keeps getting killed and then coming back and then getting killed and then coming back and then getting killed and coming back. So they're kind of copying a narrative structure from the original, which is interesting, at the very least.
And faithful, to an extent.
To an extent.
Yeah.
And Claire says something like, "Oh, I have kids. Don't shoot me." And then she attacks Anna and says, "I don't even have kids." And the movie has ended, and it's not done yet. We still have more plot to get through. But as of recording this, it's been 24 hours since seeing the movie. I still don't know if she actually has kids.
Yeah, it was never. it just kind of ends like that.
This is the most interesting character in your movie, and we don't know anything about her. So,
but yeah, they're basically lost. They're in the jungle and they're being hunted essentially because they can't go back to the boat because the Anaconda's there.
There's
now
an
they
open
die.
field,
and now we die.
But then the Anaconda attacks Doug randomly, and then they find his body, and he's been regurgitated. There's a dead pig and a dead squirrel on top of him.
He's regurgitated crisscross applesauce in the middle of
Yeah, regurgitated crisscross applesauce with a boar perfectly above his head.
Yeah, and so then they tape the boar onto his head and shove the squirrel in his mouth and use him as bait to get back to the boat. But then they get maybe,
This is the part of the trailer that's like, the entire scene
is
in the trailer.
So they get about a quarter of the way there before they decide to check back on Doug, who's alive. He spits at the squirrel. That's where the movie gets its one F-bomb.
Yeah.
And then he runs, and then they run, and the Anaconda's chasing him, and then the trailer cuts off with the Anaconda going to attack Doug, but as it turns out, it just got the boar, and that didn't impact Jack Black's velocity at all, given the boar was duct taped to his body from multiple angles.
And also the boar. Also, it turns out the boar was actually alive and on his back, like freaking out, and Yeah, the Anaconda gets to the boar, but not him. And then we find out later, it's like there's a bit where it's like, which one of you guys had this idea to put a squirrel in my mouth?
Maybe it's not too crazy.
Steve Zahn's character is like, oh, it was a unanimous decision. It's like, I knew it was your idea, and it's just like that part was mildly amusing.
Maybe it wasn't too crazy, but the fact that the boar was better CGI'd in than the actual snake. Can we dive into that real quick?
Let's talk about the snake.
Yeah.
Let's address the snake in the room. The snake in both this movie and the 1997 original.
In some parts.
Look, the Anaconda is a 1997 movie, right?
Right.
Like a fully CGI'd character and CGI to the level that we know it was invented in its earliest stage 4 years earlier with Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
It's tough to command the budget to get a movie like Jurassic Park made. The fact that the snake at points in the 1997 movie looks better than the
almost
snake
practical.
in the
almost
2025
for the entire
movie.
thing.
For the 2025 Anaconda is the snake itself is consistently bad, and it consistently looks worse than the 1997 snake.
Yeah,
well, there are points where the 1997 snake are worse. But
That's
Yeah,
true,
I
but
feel like
it's,
when
but
it's
less consistent, but
like when it's
there are
full
points
C,
where it's better.
like when it's full CG, you can tell like technology wasn't quite there at the time.
Right.
But you can also like when it's practical, you could tell it's practical. Like if they do a zoom up, and especially like when it curls around somebody, it's like okay, like that's a good use of practical effects.
And you have no excuse in the year 2025/2026.
Yeah, especially like what James Cameron's doing with Avatar. It's just like there's a reason he did that movie later than the 90s because it's like
Right.
the technology was not there. But even more so now, like now the technology is there. Why does the
Why
snake
does
look like
snake
dog?
Look like it
And
looks. It
Or look like
belongs
dog
in the
shit, not
Polar
look like a dog.
Express.
and look, it's a glossy
the
film.
Polar Express.
It's a glossy film from a major studio, and the fact that it's about indie filmmaking really only highlights how much money they had to work with compared to even the 1997 movie, which was made by the same company. They just have so much more money, and it's not like we're watching Doug and Griff's indie film. This and the movie makes it very, very, very clear. This is a product of Sony Pictures Entertainment, and you're gonna like that it's a Sony Pictures product, and we're gonna waste all of our money, all of the money that we have. This is a generously budgeted film, and we're not even gonna deliver good CGI. We're not gonna spend that time to deliver good CGI. I know you can do good CGI. But they're not even gonna try, and they're not even gonna try to make a good CGI like digitally, and they're not even gonna try to do it practically.
For the
Yeah.
sake
What's
of
the
all
point?
things.
For the snake. Yeah, it's really frustrating to say the least.
Yeah, no, agreed. Especially like Sony, you have absolutely no excuses for that. Like you really don't. And it's just like most of the other stuff. Like I guess maybe they shot some of it on location, but it's just like the snake, like the Anaconda. Like come on, like it's been years
That's the
now.
name of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The titular character.
Yep. And we're not. It's like if they CGI'd in Jack Black for the entire movie.
And it was just like a few polygons.
Right. Yeah. So they come. I mean, I assume we're done talking about the snake.
Yeah.
They come across the wrecked Anaconda set, and who's there but Ice Cube?
Yeah, Ice Cube comes to save the day as they're being attacked with one of the weirdest needle drops of all time, Back in Black by AC/DC.
Yeah.
Which
This
is a
whole
song-
soundtrack is just
which is a-
totally disconnected. from
Which
it.
is a song that I think is wildly overplayed. I love AC/DC as a band.
They played what's the one Creedence song they played at the beginning?
Oh,
I don't want to wait.
I don't want to wait.
Is that what it's called? I don't know.
I know it's
I
song.
forgot the name, but
I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah,
Though.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's this whole sound. It's all the 80s sort of 70s and 80s songs that should belong in some film exactly like this if this was made in 2016.
Yeah.
We are not nostalgic for the 80s anymore. I'm tired of like that era of music being played as nostalgia bait for
Yeah. It's especially because it's like the
Movies
same.
like-
It's the same 10 songs. If it was like something different, I'd be like, okay, that's cool.
the
but,
same
like,
10 bands, really.
Yeah, it's like AC/DC, and then they play
Guns N' Roses.
Oh my god, especially Guns N' Roses. If I hear "Welcome to the Jungle," "Paradise City," or "Sweet Child of Mine" in a movie again, I swear to God, I will lower it. I will lower it a star because I've heard those songs ad nauseum, and it's just like we get it. And so like, even though like the needle drop is kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie. When Ice Cube showed up, I got a little bit giddy, even though
Yeah.
I watched we watched the original Anaconda after seeing
Yeah.
this one, but like seeing Ice Cube and like they're doing the show, I was like, oh my god, they're actually gonna do it. And then the lines they give him afterwards are so out of context. Ice Cube, man,
Gangsta.
I love you, man, but like, I mean, if you're watching this, as always, comment down below, let us
Something
know.
about the ops.
You had War of the Worlds, and then you had this, and you have a lot. What was it? Yeah, like something about the ops.
Yeah, he says. By the way, Ice Cube, if you're watching this, come on the podcast. We'll talk about a good movie.
Please.
Yes, please.
Also, so he
No
comes
offense.
in, and look, War of the Worlds is terrible. This gives it a legitimate run for its money, and the few lines that he has, it's so terribly written. So basically, they're talking about the other like actors that were on set for the Anaconda reboot, right? And they say like, maybe you should stick with us for safety. And he says, nah, I'm from the block. I'm good. And he said, well, what about J-Lo? And he goes, yeah, she's from the block as well. But Eric Stoltz,
The magical place just called the Block.
right?
Out
And he
there
says,
somewhere.
but Eric Stoltz, who plays a character in the original, he says He's not from the block. He ain't gonna make it. He's a homie, and I gotta protect him from the ops.
Yes, that's an actual line from this movie.
You know,
I couldn't help but laugh at it just because I don't know if it was intended to get that kind of laugh, but I was just like, I was laughing at it. I wasn't laughing with it.
I
was
can
like,
imagine.
that's only a line Ice Cube would give.
There's another line earlier in the movie that's similar and does not read at all. They're talking about how good the script is, and he says, you know what? I honestly think this is an awards contention. And then one of the other characters says, like, yeah, you know, the Academy loves thoughtful horror, which is a line
Completely untrue.
completely untrue, right?
If you follow awards at all, you know that is not true. Sad,
Yeah.
but not true.
I think only 7 horror movies in total have ever been nominated for Best Picture, and that's if you include Jaws.
Yeah.
And yeah, then
Only one?
Thoughtful.
There's one?
only Silence of the Lambs. is
Yeah,
number
only
one.
Silence of the Lambs, yes.
And Griff like elbows Doug on the side, and he's like, you know what? You could be a white Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele.
I thought that was wild.
Jordan Peele makes this very thoughtful, typically dealing with themes of racism and things like that. Horror. He directed Get Out, which is one of the horror movies to be nominated for Best Picture. He directed Us. He directed Nope. That's all he's directed. He's also from Key and Peele. That line just doesn't read at all.
Yeah, and especially the type of movie that they're making inside of this movie, a Jurassic Park knockoff that's supposed to reboot Anaconda. That's just like, who do you think you
Jumanji
are?
vibes.
Yeah, like Jumanji. Yeah, exactly, like Jumanji vibes. And it's just like you say that, and I'm like, did the writers like of the writers of the actual movie, like, did you guys misread the room on that one? Because that does not play the same. Like, sure, like when you mention a director who's really popular, especially among, like, I would say he's a guy that normies know.
They should have done around the table line reads for this, right? You can imagine.
Yeah. I wonder what
First
I
reaction.
want to see footage of the table read of this movie.
It's got to be really awkward. But then again, apparently they had enough bandwidth to switch roles halfway through production, so I don't know. I have no idea.
Sure.
But it really was not well thought out. And
No,
you thought
definitely not.
You'd think someone would have caught it, right? And be like, this doesn't work. But they didn't. No one caught it. It made
Must
it into the
have been
final
production
product.
hell. I want to know more about that.
Yeah, I'm sure something will come out about that. But that would make this the second Ice Cube movie to go through production hell this year.
Yeah.
Because War of the Worlds also.
Yeah,
did the
that
same
movie
thing.
filmed 5 years ago. Right?
5 years ago in COVID without a director. So
Yeah.
yeah, and it's not good. And speaking of Jumanji, actually, there's you ready for another incredible Jack Black pissing scene? Now look, I know
Right.
we were all sated by the Jumanji 2 Jack Black pissing scene.
Although that one I thought
Although
was,
he
I thought that
is-
one was funny though, because it's a woman in his body who's like learning how to piss.
I mean, it's silly.
it's silly,
but
yeah.
it's like
Maybe it's just the time when I
Look.
watched it. Yeah.
look, you do it once, right? Okay, sure. You do it twice in reshoots? Like, they added this pissing scene in.
This is a whole scene with.
This is a whole scene.
cuts.
No cuts. No cuts.
They finished this movie with this scene in it.
It goes on way too long.
Jack Black's character gets bitten by a snake, or bitten
A
by
tarantula.
bitten by a spider, and he says,
I didn't even know. Like he just like shoved it off. They don't show a bite mark or
Right.
nothing because
and he
R
says,
rating.
"Oh, I've been bitten. You need to piss on me now.
Whiz.
You need to piss on me now."
It's just like, you need to whip out your anaconda and piss on my wound. It's like, no. Please
okay,
don't.
so first of all, like, that's not how these things work. It doesn't progress the plot at all. It gives Kenny like one character trait that he can't pee in public,
And now he can.
and now he
Yay.
can.
Character growth.
It's
and
that you're trying to be silly, but that's just
it's the most uncomfortable scene of all time because it's like it's all these guys going, yeah, and then Jack Black's like, piss on me.
They're all like crowded around him too. No, Paul Rudd is like being used as a chair for. And
yeah. What the hell was
Steve's on
that
sitting
stance?
on him.
What the hell was that stance that they were doing? Like
It's unbelievable to me because the cut of the film that they showed that tested poorly did not have this scene in it. They went.
you know what we need
They
to
went
make this
in.
Pissing scene.
They went into this movie after it tested and said, "We need to make this better. We need Steve Zahn to piss."
It's like, remember how funny the Jumanji one was? Yeah, but like it's just like, yeah, they want more of that. It's just like, did you not realize what made that scene funny? It was funny because
Yeah,
it
I
was playing
think we
against
need
type. Like that scene worked because it was playing against type. Here you just have Steve Zahn who's afraid to go in a fucking urinal in public. Like,
And it's
Like,
also
we need to
you
give
can
him
pi-
some
it's just like
character growth.
it's just like look at it.
how
Look
do we
at
do
like it's just like, oh, like a big boy can't piss in public. It's like, really, that's the bit, and like it goes on way too long.
and it's,
They reference it again at the end.
Yeah,
they reference
Like
it again
a
at the end.
Breakfast Club type ending,
And
which we'll get to.
There is no one in this movie that can carry that scene.
yeah.
In
Nobody.
Jumanji 2, Kevin Hart and Dwayne The Rock Johnson are very good in that scene. That's like the scene they were made for. In this movie, Jack Black is playing against what he was playing in that original scene. Paul Rudd feels like he's a boy who lost his mom in a Walmart. And Steve Zahn is just like putting on the most like performance of all time. And it's like,
I'm
it
the
doesn't-
dumb one.
Right.
Yeah, literally. Somebody get Greg Heffley's dad out of here. Like what? Like what are we doing?
Yeah.
Hello?
It's literally what it is. And
Yeah.
So, yeah, pissing scene. Right.
Moving on.
And moving on.
So after Ice Cube somehow leaves, the Anaconda has no idea that he's there. That doesn't seem to
Right.
care.
he goes
fades
to,
into dust, allegedly.
he goes to save the ops, or save the homies from the ops rather, and he tells them that there's pyrotechnic explosions that are set up, but he doesn't know how to set them off. But Steve Zahn's character does, and so they set it all up, and they go. They get in their like Jurassic Park ATV. And they start going, and they go over, and it's this whole theoretically tense scene in which they have to set up the pyrotechnics at the right time, and they have a time limit because the snake's going to get them. And then they do, but then the snake's alive, but then he just hits it in the head with like an axe.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Which
supposed.
is also how they killed the Anaconda in the first one.
Yeah, it's supposed to be tense until you got Motley Crue's "Kickstart My Heart" blasting. Which that song, as much as I love that song and Motley Crue, it's just like I've heard it so many times now.
So another
Like-
thing about graphics and VFX and SFX,
Yeah.
the scene, the one shot, well, I want to call it two shots of when the snake explodes. One frame, the snake is like chasing them. The next frame, the snake is suddenly blasted into pieces. But the way it plays out is it just cut. It's almost like the weirdest jump cut you've ever seen of the snake suddenly like ripped apart from an explosion. It looks so
Yeah.
janky.
They were missing a couple of frames in there. Yeah, it does not look good, and you can tell it's like not like I noticed it as well.
Yeah, I did too. I'm not typically someone to pick up on that usually, but like when it's noticeable, I know it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and then as it turns out, they actually did finish their film.
The Snake movie.
The Snake movie. They show it at Buffalo International Film Festival. And
Buffalo
So-
International of like 100 people.
The way this is filmed.
Yeah.
It's
Because Jack
filmed-
Black has a clone of himself
So
in the audience.
it's filmed non-linearly. They're doing an introduction to it, and then they're also watching it, right? So it cuts from
don't get
Jack
it.
Black on stage to Jack Black in the crowd. Those are at two different times, but it looks like Jack Black has a clone in the crowd.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, we've had trouble. I've had trouble specifically with some ending codas in these episodes. The Smashing Machine had a pretty terrible one.
And Springsteen. Don't forget about Springsteen.
Springsteen had one of the worst ones I've ever seen in any movie ever. This one does not have a good one either because
This one's wild. Like I can't believe a studio like Sony would put something like that.
So okay, let me break it down for you. Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
We're checking in with all the characters. Okay. So first of all, they didn't secure theatrical distribution. Okay. Steve Zahn's character knows how to piss in public. Cool.
Yay.
Paul Rudd's character is back to being an extra on a medical procedural.
Woohoo.
And they were hit with a cease and desist letter from Sony Pictures Entertainment over their unlicensed copy of Anaconda. And then in the ending scene, Jennifer Lopez goes to Doug's house to ask him to direct the Sony-endorsed version of the new Anaconda.
And Doug
kids, if you're watching this one, if you're watching that movie, maybe filming without copyright may not be the most terrible idea.
You know what? Follow your dreams. If you want to make movies, make movies. This is your place to expand your creativity. But
Make
if you don't
anything
have
you
the
want.
express permission of Sony Pictures Entertainment, fuck you.
Yeah, and we
Accept
will, and we
that.
will send a cease and desist letter your way. But go do what you want. Make films. Go have fun. But we will send a cease and desist letter.
Please,
if
if
you reboot
there's
Anaconda.
a film festival, forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it.
It is beyond frustrating, and it doesn't read because it's supposed to be funny. This is coming from Sony Pictures.
It reads like a threat.
It does. It does read like a threat.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like at gunpoint. It's just like make movies, but we will send a cease and desist letter if you violate any copyright laws. Like whoa.
and here's the worst part.
That just like
So-
got rid of the message.
Doug is the only person that ends up benefiting from this in the long run because, by the way, he's endorsed by Sony Pictures now. So he ends up in the corporate machine because now Sony Pictures is giving him permission to follow his dreams. Griff doesn't end up any better than he was before. He's still an extra. You know whose story doesn't get resolved? Claire.
Does she have
That
kids?
Interesting
Claire.
one.
What
If she has
happens to her?
if she has kid, does she have kids? Who the fuck knows? I gotta be so honest.
This is coming from Sony Pictures to say that you need the rights to the movies that there's
It's baffling.
It's a lesson.
You're trying to be.
really is.
You're trying to be meta, but really?
It really is baffling, and at its heart, this is trying to be a story about how indie filmmaking will overcome studio filmmaking. It's not subtle about that. The indie film gets finished where the studio film literally wrecks by the monster they're trying to film. That's like the perfect symbolism, and this feels so slapped in by the studio at the end, like, wait, we don't want to actually encourage people to make interesting and unique movies based on the things that they love. We need to own those things. If we don't own those things, we're ruined, and we cannot possibly accept an industry in which indie filmmaking gains any sort of recognition from anywhere, because it needs to be Sony. It's gotta be Sony. And now Sony, by the way, is your friend because it endorsed indie filmmaking. It made this movie about indie filmmakers in which the indie filmmakers get royally fucked by the studio. What is happening? What are we doing?
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, coming from
Sony, come on.
coming from the CEO of Sony, who literally went on record by saying that the Sony Spider-Man-less Spider-Man universe was the fault of the audience and not them, which was like, you're the studio responsible for these bad movies being made. It's not our fault to like them.
The universe that included, by the way, 3 Venom movies: Morbius, Madam Web, and Craven the Hunter. So
Yeah, which we all know how well received all of those are, right? I mean, not a single one of those is fresh around Tomatoes, which is just saying something.
And critics also.
And critics.
This isn't an audience thing. These movies are not well regarded. No one's gonna see your movie if you just keep putting out shit.
Yeah.
And they seem to be under the impression that they're entitled to movies somehow. And look, Sony had a bad year. Sony had one major release in the summer season. I think they only had 28 Years Later.
Which did well.
Which did well, but like they had a pretty bad year. Them and Paramount are kind of in a weird spot right now. And Paramount has more stuff upcoming, but generally their summer seasons weren't the best.
24 was bad for them. I mean, they put out. I mean, in just one year, you got Madam Web, you got Venom: The Last Dance, and you had Craven the Hunter, just to name 3.
Yeah, that's another thing. They released 3 Sony Spider-Man-less universe movies in the same year and expected all of them to do well. One of them was in February.
Yeah, one of them was Venom, which the first 2 did well. I mean, the first Venom made over 800 million, but it's just like the third one, there wasn't a hook for it. It didn't do as well as the other 2, and I think even after the failure of Craven the Hunter, they're just like, hey, just pull the plug. But it's the audience's fault. They're not paying to watch this stuff. It's like, yeah, no shit.
This movie is such positioning. It's a bit like, it's trying to be meta, and if it wasn't made by Sony, it might have read. But it doesn't read because we all saw the Columbia logo up front of this movie. We all saw it. You can't hide it from us. We know who made this movie, and we know what message you're trying to send with that ending. We know that you realized halfway through that this movie was about something that you didn't endorse as a company, so you threw that in to say, hey, by the way, don't make movies. You shouldn't do it. Because,
Please.
we're the movie makers. You should just watch our movies and not try to do anything unique or creative or interesting.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, I feel like.
Yep.
But yeah, with that, no, that is the end of the movie. There's no
Mhm.
post-credit scene, and after the
There
Jennifer
is
Lopez...
there's
Oh, actually,
For some reason,
Santiago
it was
is
so
revealed to
forgettable.
be alive.
yes.
Don't blame
Sorry,
you.
I even forgot about that. Wow. Sorry, I was
Santiago is alive, which means.
So who the hell's body would hit the bus?
I guess.
Some random dude, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess he's just as invincible as the other guy, whatever his name was, from the '97 movie.
Yeah, Santiago's alive. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
He's all by himself now because has a snake
What's
fetish
he
and
gonna
he's surrounded
do?
by snakes.
This character that we did not care about.
Who knows? No, it's horrible.
When we get a
No.
sequel about Santiago.
If there's an Anaconda 2,
Which I was pulling up this movie's box office. So it cost $45 million, and so far it's made $88 million worldwide. So it's made its money back.
It's just about
$30 to $40 has come from us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Give or
this
take.
movie did make its money back, so we
It
can't
made
really.
its money back, but that being said, it was beaten by Marty Supreme
It was.
in its opening weekend.
Yeah,
Oh,
true.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And not only in terms of money, because yes, Marty Supreme grossed more than it, but also Marty Supreme's significantly better than this movie. And the thing with this movie is, until the end, it's terrible, but it's watchably terrible.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not boring. I didn't fall asleep.
I might have
Unlike
Yeah.
Or-
I didn't fall asleep at all.
I might have fallen asleep if I was watching it alone, but I wasn't, and that impacts the experience. I just think it wasn't thought out front to back, and it feels like a product of studio meddling in a movie about how shitty studio meddling is.
Exactly.
So
In that regard, it is very meta, and I think it really does its job well with that. Maybe to an extent that
it's meta, but not in the way we celebrate anything for being meta for.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scream is meta, right? It's
Absolutely.
It's calling out the meta of slasher films at the time. That was Halloween, right? And it's calling itself out. It's laying out the rules and then following them, and breaking them in a way that still follows them. It's the exception that proves the rule. But it's very, very smart about how it does this. Sony feels like the execs didn't read the script before changing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And like the best way I would describe this one is like it's shitty Tropic Thunder. So it's just like the meta humor that they're going for in this one, like a lot of parallels to Tropic Thunder, done way like unbelievably worse than Tropic. I mean, Tropic Thunder, as a point of reference, is my favorite comedy of all time. So you got there's some, I guess maybe some bars to that, but also I do think Tropic Thunder is a great movie, and the meta humor in that works so well. I mean, you have, not to go too much on a tangent, but Robert Downey Jr. literally pokes fun at how far actors would go in terms of winning awards, and he literally gets nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Is kind of funny to me. And then you watch a movie like this, it just doesn't feel like none of the meta humor landed, and it didn't feel like they knew what they wanted to do. Which on paper, like the idea of this movie isn't terrible. I mean, you get the guy who did The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent to do a meta Anaconda reboot with Jack Black and Paul Rudd. Sounds weird, but there was part of me that was like,
pull it off.
You could pull it off. Like same thing with like the Naked Gun earlier this year. It's just like if you get the right people, maybe you could pull that stuff off. And this one, unfortunately, was the lesser, where I just don't think it worked.
It really is. For people that don't watch a lot of movies, this is a movie that's telling you, hey, you know how terrible it is to watch a movie? Well, this is the good one that understands you and is meeting you where you're at. And to people who do watch a lot of movies, this is basically warning you to stop liking them.
Yeah.
Because if Sony is outwardly saying that if we get to a point in which people start caring about art that's being made by people and art that's interesting and rule breaking and transgressive, Sony is royally screwed because no one wants to watch their dog shit.
Yeah. And especially like as, the three of us in college right now, at least as of time of recording this one, of people who actually do want to make indie films, it's really sad to see a big studio be like, actually, no, we're going to sue you if you use anything that if you try to make anything similar to this. It's just like, great, thanks for that, Sony.
Yeah, it's so frustrating.
Yeah. I guess
This is not to say that like copyright infringement shouldn't be a thing
Right.
that should be protected. Like people's IPs should be protected
Yeah,
to an
absolutely,
extent.
absolutely.
But the way this movie carries itself out in that message, it comes across as our IPs are ours to hold, and you cannot be creative in
Right.
any way if it breaks our rules.
Exactly. It comes across. It doesn't come across as in defense of copyright, right? Because I mean, I feel like copyright is relatively uncontroversial, at least in its original implementation.
yeah.
But it doesn't feel like Sony's point is actually that we own Anaconda, so don't make Anaconda, because like it's like, sure, okay, Anaconda was bad to begin with. You're remaking Anaconda. We're not remaking Anaconda. You're remaking Anaconda. The point of it is the only way that you can do anything ever is by siding with Sony Pictures. That's how it comes across. And that's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we should also talk about, since we did hint at this a little bit, how do you guys think this one compared to the original Anaconda? Because I think I have a controversial take, but I'll let you guys go
I
first.
say for the first one, aside from all the critiques we've laid upon this, I think really fairly, this was fun to watch with friends in a way that I can compare to other bad movies
Right.
that we've watched together that I was just bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
That being Wicked for Good.
Right. Wicked for Good was boring as hell.
And literally nothing happened in there. This movie, stuff happened, and it was enjoyable to watch. Stuff happened.
Right. And important to note, Wicked for Good, not empty theater. This movie, we were in an empty theater.
Well,
So-
we were there at like 9:50 on
Right.
a
Yeah,
Monday
to be fair, we were
night.
there 9:50, and also it was the first showing that we were the only people there, which I don't think has happened yet. I don't think.
I was alone for my Black Phone 2 showing
Oh,
when we
yeah,
recorded when we recorded that, but we also saw that one separately. So
yeah, that's true.
hard to judge there, but yeah. So I think there's a little bit to that where it's like we're not going to be emoting during the movie and like making fun of the movie if there are other people in the theater. That's rude. But if we're alone, there's no one else to bother.
Yeah,
so
might as
we're just gonna
well.
have fun. And so yeah, this movie was fun. The 1987 Anaconda was boring as hell.
So boring.
It was really bad. And this, look, Anaconda 2025, it's bad. It's bad in retrospect, though. You think about what that movie was about, and for a movie that's constantly calling attention to its themes, they're not very thought out. But it's fun to watch. It's a good time. Anaconda 1987 is not a good time. It's a bad time.
Yeah, that's where I come in. I am actually the opposite
Really?
on that. Yeah, I don't know. I like, for me, like the original Anaconda, like everything you said about the new one, I actually would apply to the original. To where I'm just like, when you said that the new one is like watchably terrible, like that's me with the original. Like, it's a bad movie. I'm not saying it's good or anything, but like I find a movie like that very watchable. I didn't think it was dull. I actually found a lot of it that I kind of found hilarious, not for the right reasons. You had John Voight doing a crazy accent. You had Ice Cube, who looked like he was acting in the totally wrong movie. You had J-Lo trying so hard to be serious J-Lo, but didn't quite work out.
The 97 movie, I was going to say that is the perfect Riff Tracks movie as a Riff Tracks fan. I just looked it up. They actually did do Anaconda 97 for Riff Tracks Live, so I would really rather have watched that with those guys rather
Yeah.
than just alone on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I thought the original was fun. The new one had some fun elements as well. But like if I honestly, like if it was up to me after everything we said about the new one, I would much rather rewatch the original than the new one.
It is kind of pick your poison for me, but I still think I'd rather watch the new one.
Yeah,
Same.
because like the new one, like some of its messaging was kind of insulting to me, especially at the time that I'm in right now. But-
It is.
and like
it's
the original, I could just watch as like a dumb, as like a dumb creature movie, but it's inoffensive to me.
I suppose that's fair. I just think the original was hard to get through the first time.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but
Yeah,
I
they're
find
both terrible.
watchable.
It's a B movie.
Yeah, it's a B movie.
In every respect.
I agree, and I like this. Yeah. So I mean,
Ratings?
yeah. Should we jump
Mayhaps?
into ratings?
Yeah.
Should we? Okay. Both of these movies I would give 2 stars to. I would put the new one slightly above the old one, but I think they're both 2-star movies. Maybe the original Anaconda is like 1.5.
I'm giving the new one a 2.5.
Okay.
It entertained me enough consistently beyond all the horribleness of it as a whole movie and its messaging at the very end. Throughout it was, I mean, I wasn't bored. The 97 one, on the other hand, I'm giving that a 1.5 because of just same reasons as the first one, just really bad as a movie. I don't think it's the concept itself that's really dooms it from the start.
Yeah.
But the 97 one is a lot more boring.
Yeah, I would give the new one a 2, kind of same as you. The original, I'm teetering the line between a 2 and a 2.5, but since I'd rather rewatch it over the original, I'd probably go 2.5.
Okay.
Not saying it's a good movie, but
No, that's a bad grade.
yeah, it's just like I would be fine rewatching it at some point.
Relatively.
Like if I was with a bunch of my friends, I'm like, hey, you want to watch Anaconda? I'm like, sure, I'll watch it. But
It's good to laugh at.
yeah, it's fun to laugh at, and honestly, like there's some parts of that movie that I laugh at. Like I can just, like I guess just for the types of movies like I watch, I can kind of just laugh at how bad some of it is. But it was one to me that was kind of disappointing that I didn't find it as like a guilty pleasure that or even so bad it's good. It's just a movie that I don't like, but there's some parts that I kind of defend. But it's a movie that I probably won't revisit unless I'm with friends. And then the new one, kind of same thing. It was fun watching it with people, but it's not one that I'm gonna re-explore.
Yeah. Before we jump into letterbox plugs, we have one brief comment to answer to.
Oh,
This
which one?
brief comment.
Which video is this under?
This was left under our weekly spoiler review for Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
All right.
Oh, okay.
This one was left by @Flixen on YouTube.
Oh boy, I know this guy.
Is this a regular?
This is a
your side?
channel regular on our side, yeah,
Yeah,
and
familiar face.
a friend of the show. He says, "Did you guys forget about the scene where Foxy jumps at Mike and Balloon Boy shows up?"
Yeah.
We did.
Yes, yeah. Now that you say that, yeah.
Yeah, we did. And honestly, we had so much to say about that movie, I'm not surprised we forgot it. And I don't know if we actually mentioned this in the podcast, but it's worth mentioning now. The Five Nights at Freddy's series, we talked about in that podcast how they make one joke and then they make it again because the creator, for some reason, thinks it's funnier the second time. They do this with this little toy of a character in the second game named Balloon Boy. He's like I don't really know how to describe Balloon Boy. He's dressed like a clown in these striped things, and he's got like a propeller hat
that's
on.
what that thing was. Yeah, I
And
was just googling a picture of what Balloon Boy
he
looked like.
holds
and I was like,
balloons in one hand and a sign that says balloons in the other hand. And there's this little toy of him that keeps showing up in random places. And every time he shows up, the cameras do smash cut, extreme close up of Balloon Boy with a musical sting in the background. And
Yeah.
they do that 3 times in the first one, twice in the first one. I think they do it twice in the main, and then there's a post-credit scene with that, and then they did it again in the second one.
Yeah, to quote King Neptune from SpongeBob, it's even funnier the second time.
And, also, to quote King Neptune from SpongeBob, it's even funnier the second time.
yeah.
And even to quote King Neptune from SpongeBob, I'm bald.
Letterbox plugs. I am Threnv on
really.
Letterbox. That is THRNV. I probably have a review up for both Anacondas by this point, but I also reviewed Ruben Fleischer's Zombieland with Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, and Emma Stone.
Okay.
Yeah, my letterbox plug is at MJ Spiegel, MJSPIEGEL, all lowercase. My end of year ranking for 2025 is now live on my page. You can go check that out. I have officially revived my letterbox and look forward to writing reviews in 2026.
You can find me on Letterboxd at Invaded Films, INVADED Films. And for this is the new year as of the time of recording, so I will be posting some of the movies that we've done, probably Marty Supreme. I will have that up first and foremost when I get to it, seeing as I have a lot of free time, considering like us being back in college and stuff. Speaking of which, this is the first episode in kind of in like a month, I'd say, that we are back in the studio.
Yeah, we
are.
We haven't been mentioning it. But we've been recording remotely for a little while. So if the audio's been kind of rough, and no one's complained about the audio, which is nice, but if the audio was kind of rough, it should be fixed now and for some subsequent episodes. Speaking of subsequent episodes, I would like to offer you a little teaser of what's coming before our next weekly spoiler review. Our next weekly spoiler review will be coming on time next week, no worries. But in the following week, we will be uploading a couple of things. So in between, or at least before our next spoiler review, which will be the first weekly spoiler review for a movie that came out in 2026, we will upload our year-end rankings.
All right.
For 2025, that includes 10 best, 10 worst, and a couple of assorted awards that we'd like to give to some standout things from different movies. And we will also be recording our most anticipated of the year for 2026. That is our 25 most anticipated films of 2026.
That is our gift to you.
Yeah, and also a kind of love letter to the podcast, as that's the most anticipated of 2025 is where it all started. At least when me and Jesse sat down and recorded for the first time.
It's all come full circle.
And we are very, very excited to see you there. Here's to another year of Post Credits Podcast.
Yeah.
And also announcing, as we patrol the Mojave some more, we will be uploading more on our continuing first ever TV show review, weekly-ish review of the Fallout TV show, Season 2.
Yeah, more on the End Times New Vegas is coming. That is our slate for the following week. Hope you had a wonderful time listening to this episode. Leave a comment. If you have a comment to leave, we would love to hear from you. If you disagree, you agree, you have something to add, or you want to point out a scene we missed that involves Foxy and Balloon Boy, go ahead. And with all of that being said, roll credits.